the Fallout franchise. A series that ever since Fallout 1 came out in 1997 has been bringing us incredibly high quality and unique role-playing games, and it's caught the attention of more than a few gamers out there, to say the least. Fallout 4, the most recent installment in the Fallout series, while not devoid of its fair share of problems, is no exception to this. As one of the most hyped games of all time, it sucked in both hardcore Fallout fans and Fallout newbies alike. So in honor of the recent release of Fallout 4, today I'm here to count down the Fallout games from best to worst. And just a heads up, this will only include games from the main series, so Fallout Tactics and Fallout Shelter are not included on this list. Number 5. Fallout 1. Let me start this off by saying that I don't dislike Fallout 1 in the slightest. In fact, I think it's a great game. The story and the lore behind Fallout 1 are absolutely amazing, and to be honest, they're much better than some of the more recent Fallout games. Also, the dialogue in this game is incredibly interesting and very enjoyable. Finally, it totally nailed the Fallout atmosphere, that much I can say for certain, probably much more so than Fallout 3 or New Vegas or Fallout 4, which I suppose is to be expected because it is the first Fallout game that was made. The thing is, there were some issues that I just couldn't overlook in Fallout 1, such as the combat for instance, which is pretty weak by today's standards if I'm being honest. Also, despite the fact that I'm always the one who advocates playability and experience over graphics, the graphics in this game are pretty bad, although it's difficult for me to be upset about that because the game was released in the 90s. Nonetheless, the point is that Fallout 1 is an amazing game and absolutely worth playing if you haven't already, but there were a couple of problems with it that I just couldn't overlook, and for that reason it's number 5 on my list of Fallout games. Do not expect that to be the case for Fallout 2 though, because my opinion of that game is completely different, as you guys will see later in this countdown. Number 4. Fallout 4. As with Fallout 1, I just want to clarify by saying that I do not in any way hate this game. Fallout 4 is a really fun and really enjoyable game, but unfortunately not without its fair share of problems. For one, I'm not really a fan of the dialogue system in Fallout 4. I thought the system from previous Fallout games was perfectly fine, so I'm not really sure why Bethesda went and changed it up with a shortened dialogue options and a dialogue wheel. Also, I really felt like a lot of the quests in Fallout 4 were rather shallow in terms of pure length, in terms of lore, and in terms of just content in general. The game definitely wasn't as deep as Fallout New Vegas, nor was it as deep as Skyrim, which while not a Fallout game, is worth mentioning since Bethesda did make both Skyrim and Fallout 4. Even still, Bethesda did do some great things with Fallout 4, like improving combat, including some pretty cool locations like the glowing sea, and making weather more prominent with events like radiation storms. So overall, while Fallout 4 has its share of problems, it's still a great game, and for that reason is number 4 on my list. Number 3. Fallout 3. To be honest, the gap between Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 is pretty large for me. My top 3 Fallout games are all incredibly close, and I love each and every one of them to absolute death. To give you a bit of history behind my introduction to Fallout 3, it was actually the first Fallout game that I ever played, and I played it when I was pretty young. So as I'm sure you guys can expect, it absolutely blew me away. There really isn't anything bad that I have to say about this game. Between the incredibly well done dialogue system, insanely cool quests like the Replicated Man, one-of-a-kind locations like Vault 108, and incredible DLCs like Point Lookout, this game was a masterpiece in every sense of the word. In hindsight, I also really liked the leveling system in this game, and while it wasn't perfect and the perk system wasn't exactly well organized, I had a lot of fun building and progressing my character in Fallout 3, which ultimately is all that matters. So overall, Fallout 3 is an amazing game, and if for whatever reason you guys are living under a rock or something and haven't played it yet, then you definitely need to because it's undoubtedly one of the greatest games of all time. Number 2. Fallout 2. To put it bluntly, Fallout 2 is freaking amazing. Despite the personal attachment that I have to Fallout 3, I have to say that I definitely enjoyed 2 more, and on another day, this might even be number 1 on my list. Going into Fallout 2, I'll be honest and say that I wasn't really expecting to enjoy it, simply because I wasn't the biggest fan of Fallout 1, but boy was I wrong about that. In fact, I would go so far as to say that purely from an RPG standpoint, this game is definitely the best of the Fallout series. For starters, the dialogue in Fallout 2 is head and shoulders above any of the other Fallout games if you ask me. Just wandering around and talking to people in this game is incredibly fun, which to be honest isn't something I can say about the other games on this list. Also, some of the locations in this game are insanely cool. Without giving away too many spoilers here, Vault 13 is potentially one of my favorite areas in any Fallout game, period. Finally, the lore in Fallout 2 is incredible, and unlike any other Fallout game, while certainly the game is not as advanced in areas like combats and graphics when compared to Fallout 4, since it is an older game after all, Fallout 2 definitely wins out and excels in the depth of its lore and other such characteristics. In sum, Fallout 2 is an amazing game, and for that reason, it's got the number 2 spot on this list. Number 1. Fallout New Vegas. As with Fallout 2, this game is damn good. In many ways, Fallout New Vegas was the result of taking many of the improvements Bethesda made in Fallout 3 and combining them with the lore and the depth of the first 2 Fallout games. And as one might expect, the result was absolutely masterful. The world of Fallout New Vegas, in terms of depth, breadth, and lore, is definitely unlike any other. Also, the factions were incredibly well done in New Vegas, much more so than 3 or 4 if I'm being honest. Finally, the story was also one of the best in any Fallout game, which is really saying something because I was a massive fan of the stories in 1, 2, and 3. I rarely ever got bored playing New Vegas because there's just so much to do and so much to ponder in this game, so for that reason, it's my #1 Fallout game of all time. Well, alright folks, that is pretty much gonna do it for this video. As always, if you enjoyed, be sure to drop me a like down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more Fallout content in the future. Also, let me know how you guys would rank the Fallout games from best to worst down below in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you all have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.